Hey, welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Well, finally, we got a cloudy day, and actually, it's starting to rain on me. So I'll see if I can get this done before. Let's see if I'm in the right place here. I don't know. See if I can get this done before I get too wet. I was going to make this video anyway, but then I saw a a meme on Facebook this morning. Yes, Facebook, and I'm going to get back to that in a minute. And it said, y'all's yoga pants have never been to yoga, just the liquor store and Target. And that's the truth. Now, I have no objection to yoga pants. I think they look very nice. I like them on my wife. I like them on anybody that wants to. Well, not everybody. I don't like them on everybody who seems to like to wear them, but that's a personal choice. And this is still America to an extent, so who am I to say who should and shouldn't wear them? But the point is that it's an affectation, a fashionable affectation for sure, but something that has come into the mainstream of our American life from a little sliver over there. The reason that I was going to make this one anyway is because of the proliferation of pickup trucks. Now, maybe not out where you live, if you live out where pickup trucks are a common sight and are necessary, utilitarian, because stuff actually gets hauled in the back of them, which is the reason that they were invented, right? Because people needed to haul stuff that they didn't want to put in their truck or their back seat, whether grain or goats or whatever. But what amuses me are the number of pickup trucks that I see in around where I live. Now, I don't live in an area to where pickup trucks are necessary, but I see a lot of them. And it's not unusual to drive by a garage and see a pickup truck parked in a garage next to a Mercedes or a Saab or whatever the latest thing is. And it's not unusual to see pickup trucks that got bought up right and left for $70,000 and $80,000. And man, they look nice. I mean, they're chromed out and they got everything in the world that you would need or want or don't even need or want and never even knew existed until you found out that, it was an option, and then, oh man, I need that, right? They are all over the place. And I'm about to buy a new vehicle. As much as I love my Excursion, it's got 400,000 miles on it, and I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just going to get something else. And Kelly asked, she says, well, the kid said that you ought to get a pickup truck. And I laughed. I said, what in the world do I need a pickup truck for? I don't have a farm. I don't have a ranch. I've got essentially a truck with a roof on the back of it, which means I get to carry all the stuff that I need to with a roof over it without getting it all wet. And if I needed to, I could live in the darn thing. I don't need a pickup truck, but it is an affectation. And if you drive around this area, full of doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs, and oh my gosh, I wonder if that'll get this video jerked off. It's an old American poem. Okay, so it's Americana that I just slipped in there. But all this area, you're going to see some of the fanciest pickup trucks you've ever seen in your life. Now, you get out of town here about 20 miles, and you'll see pickup trucks that are actually used for what pickup trucks are supposed to be used for. But it is an affectation that has found its way into the fabric of the American middle class in suburbia for no real reason except that, I don't know, they look cool, they look good, they look whatever, somebody else will have to answer that question because it's not my thing. There's another affectation that has wound its way into our national fabric, and that is ARs and guns. And of course, we know You know what's happened. Everybody's snatching them up right and left all over the place. And some people are trained and mentally and emotionally ready to use those tools for their intended purpose, but the vast majority aren't. You know that quote by and I don't remember his name, some Japanese admiral that said that mainland America would never be invaded because there would be a gun behind every blade of grass. Well, he was speaking about a different generation. He was speaking about a generation um, that did things out of necessity, not because it looked cool. And back then, I think probably his warning, was a good one to take. Nowadays, not so much. If if America were invaded now, I think you'd see people peeking out of the windows behind their curtains while their little you know what is still up in the safe. Yeah, hard truth, right? I don't think that most of the people that I hear talking about how they're ready, bring it on. And I know that this has been kind of a theme in a couple of my most recent videos, but I think it's important to hammer home because people sure talk a lot about how ready they are for this and that and the other thing. I've got something coming up. I made one yesterday on the coming race war. For some reason, it's having trouble getting up. I'm not sure why. We'll see. We'll see if it gets up. But I've had people say, it's time to go. Bring it on. I'm ready for this kind of war and that kind of war and all kinds of war and blah, blah, blah. We're going to take care of it. And, well, I call that, big talk. I call that blowing off steam. I call that posturing for the masses and the friendship circle. I don't think that there's much substance to it. And because, as I said, I saw that meme on Facebook, and I hear a lot of people, Facebook. Oh, I wouldn't be on Facebook. I'm not. I wouldn't do that. There, blah blah blah. The fake, horrible, 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 horrible. Well, I've explained in a couple of things that I think that it's a big mistake to just leave one whole battlefield up to the opposition. And if you think that you're big enough to resist this tidal wave that's coming, then why aren't you taking part in part of a battle that's not even going to physically endanger you? Because you can't convince me that if you won't take part on Facebook, that you're going to get out magically. When the hordes are coming your way, whatever those hordes may be, and you're going to grab that boomstick and you're going to go out and meet the enemy. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And that's why we are doomed as a country. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to come out the other end or the other side of this. Some of us, with maybe something more like what we would like. And that's why we continue to resist, and that's why we continue to prepare and get ready. But we live in a country of Lululemons, $80,000 shiny pickup trucks that never have anything in the back end of them, and nice and shiny, fancy ARs stuck in a safe and taken to the range occasionally and talked about a lot. This is a pleasant rain. I could sit out here all day long in this kind of rain. But anyway, that's my thought. You know, to turn anything around, you got to have fighters, and fighters in every aspect of the fight. And we just don't have enough people. We just don't have enough people out there willing to contend on the easiest battleground there is. And that's the battleground of words. And I know people will say, "Well, I'm not much on words, but boy, when it gets to a certain point, okay, I'm ready to go." Yeah, okay, we'll see. We will see. Um, I'm about to make one to put up over on Patreon. And for those of you who haven't been on Patreon for a while, you might want to consider going over there because I'm starting to put up things that are going to be more directly applicable to what's coming. Just put one up on the truth about knife fighting the other day, and I'm going to put up one here probably today or tomorrow morning on attacking the attack, because that's how you want to come at an attack. You don't want to lay back, and that's pretty much what people are doing now. Well, I'm not one for words. I'm not gonna, you're not even willing to stand up and 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 try to power down these nitwits spewing their Marxist agenda right now. So I doubt you're going to shoot anybody over it when the time comes. You know, it's kind of humorous, but it's darn sad too. 40, 50 years ago, adults would stand up and take a stand. They would express their honest opinion. When somebody came up in a group, can you imagine? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid and I'd hear adults talk. And if someone, it would even, I mean, the thought that somebody would express an opinion supportive of a Marxist agenda, a communist agenda, the socialist stuff that's going on now, nobody would, because they would have been ostracized and slam dunked by a bunch of other thinking adults who were able to contend with them verbally. Let me say this, and not to be unkind, but if you're not able to contend verbally, do you really have the background to contribute to what we need to do in the future other than be a trigger puller? Yes, and we don't need we don't need that. We don't need that now. We need people to step up. We need people to be a contender, in the ring that's going on right now, in the fight that's going on right now. But I don't have any hope of it. I'm anxious to hear what you all have to say about this, but I don't have any hope. So that's why I am preparing for what comes out on the other side of whatever we're going to go through, because we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it because, all those guns that Japanese admiral thought were behind every blade of grass, they're not. They're not. They're not coming out. No matter how many comments I read all over the place, no matter how many tough guy memes I see, no matter how many people I see all decked out in camo and Molly and tactical stuff, no, not happening. So I guess we're just going to see what happens. But you know what? Long as we got our pickups and our yoga pants and our shiny, keep them in the safe rifles, we're all right, aren't we? Well, you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And the tomorrow that we're going to live is going to be the result of the preparations that we make today. And I guess our country is just preparing to go to yoga class and a car show. Okay. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.